Bam, we're live. Good morning, Jeff. You gonna call me in 20 days and set me straight, huh, buddy? You call me in 20 days and set me straight? Can't wait, buddy. Can't wait to hear that smooth voice of yours. I'm thinking it's time that I'm thinking about just getting rid of a bunch of shit behind me.
That's what I'm doing. The great purge.
Changing my my backdrop a little bit. Do I have an echo?
No. Do I?
No. Everything sounds awesome.
Okay.
We are 6 minutes from showtime. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Soccer Mom. Good morning, Heidi. Good morning, David.
Oh, David.
David made a post the other day, a comment in here about being in the military for 10 years and spending some significant time behind bars. That caught my attention. Paper Street Coffee. Am I turned on by Matt and his beanie? You are. You're definitely not turned off. Good morning, Austin. Austin, hey, thank you so much, Austin, for going so hard in the comments over at Rogue and promoting the show. I can't thank you enough. Same with you, Mike the Sauce. Mike, I got your Google Doc. Wad Zombie, of course, always good to see you. Chris, good morning. Mike Happelin, and of course, Dick Butter. Sevan, please ask Katie to unban me on their YouTube live chat. Okay. Hold on. I got Katie notes here.
Wait, what do you get banned for?
I'm going to put that up. I got a couple things to start the show before the gang gets here today. Let's hear. Echo. You're so good, Sousa. Let's hear from Kanye West to start the morning. Steve Whitney, good morning. Here's Kanye, and I'll take that note right now. Katie, can you unban? Full screen too if you want. You can take us off if you want. Katie, can you unban Dick Butter? The YouTube comments. I have a feeling she's going to say no. Okay, action.
And I play the top songs in the rap chart, I would tell you my people are sick. If I go to the restaurants and opportunity zones and we look at the calorie rating and the cholesterol, I will tell you that my people are sick. If we look at the obesity rate, you will see that my people are sick. And my people meaning all people. If the media picks an overweight Black woman and says this is body goals, then the media are influencing my people to stay sick. And it just so happens that night, I was so frustrated after 20 years that I had to call it out in one tweet. Even if I say, hey, okay, I was frustrated for these reasons, now it's not good enough. You've literally tried to make me re-apologize 10 times in this meeting, re-say this, re-say that, but it doesn't change the fact that my people are sick, and I'm the only person in my position that will say that my people are sick. Today, not 30 years ago, not 60 years, my people are sick today. 50% of my people's of deaths are abortion today. My people don't have the opportunities today. My people.
I've been telling you this forever, and I'm going to show you the most extreme form of racism that I have seen in my lifetime. CNN telling you that this is a healthy teenage boy who died of COVID, who's more than 200 pounds overweight. That is, if you're woke, you see that, and you have any common sense, you see that as a direct attack on people with melanated skin. Do you not see that? Healthy, this is on CNN, healthy teenager who took precautions. Kudos to Kanye for speaking out. Shame on all the other people who don't see this, who don't see how the fucking media works. Shame on you, douchebags. It's despicable. It's despicable and embarrassing. The vile messaging that's coming out telling people that this is healthy. This is not healthy. No one has to live on medications. No one has to live their life like this. And yet they're promoting it as healthy. This is America's news source. God, I wish I could get rid of that Bose ad. Pretty headset. Okay. One more thing before I bring the gang on. There's I saw this movie preview. Two more things. I saw this movie preview yesterday. I thought I'd like to show you this movie preview also before we start the show today. And for those of you who are first time watchers of this show, get fucking used to it. Can you make that full screen?
These people know. These people know.
Who knows?
The governments know. This has been well planned. This is Agenda 2030. This is the Great Reset.
Somebody mentioned to go onto Google and go into the news section and then type in "died suddenly." And lo and behold, here's a whole listing of articles of people within that last week who died suddenly. Older people, but a lot of younger people around the world.
And then you find out they were vaccinated. And it's just there's something different about the blood. Something's causing this. Somebody needs to look into it. I talked to other embalmers that have 30, 40, even 50 years of experience. Have you guys ever seen this stuff before? And the answer was always, I've never seen anything like it.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds.
That's a 12 sigma event, 1 in 800 years, 12 standard deviations above the mean.
No one's even calculated that. It's apocalyptic.
Who knows? Young people are dying these days.
This is different. This isn't normal.
The dead can't speak for themselves, so therefore I have to speak for them.
This is the greatest orchestrated die-off in the history of the world.
Welcome to the Rogue Invitational today. Welcome to the pregame show.
Welcome to the show.
Mr. Andrew Hiller, J.R. Howell, Brian Friend.
Oh my God.
I would like to think that this is the deepest, wisest, most crass show on the internet. Oh shit, we lost Brian. Too crass for Brian. Wad Zombie has a fantastic post. If you guys haven't seen it, please, Matt Souza will bring it up now. And then after that, breaking news from Wad Zombie, 4 inches proves to be more than the women had originally thought. This is in reference to the fact that none of the women were able to finish the time cap. And we discussed that at length yesterday.
And all of the men finished.
All the men were able to handle the 4-inch bar.
Most. Who took last on that event? We should give some props to him.
And I when I use that word men, I use it in the biological sense. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that a shaving accident or did you bump your head?
I shaved, dude. I was
that's cool. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. Sorry, Souza. Before we started, I'd also we have already started. I'd also like to go straight into it. Can you pull up the Barbell Spin Instagram account? Brian from Barbell Spin coming in hard. He claimed that he would. Oh shoot! What happened to his post? I just saw his. Oh, Barbell Spin. So here it is. Barbell Spin made a claim, I think, early in the week that he would be breaking news faster and than anyone else. And I think he's living up to those expectations. I greatly appreciate things like this. This is so fun. I should actually ask Katie that today.
There he is.
the secrecy around events. It's fun trying
Nice shirt.
to catch you guys.
Do you think they'll make me turn it inside out today?
God, I hope so. Not Rogue. No, not Rogue.
No, not Rogue. Not Rogue. What's with the bloody thumb? He said he was rushed to come here.
No. I just fucked up.
Oh, all right. No blaming. Complete responsibility, personal responsibility, and accountability. No blame. No blame from the thumb. Okay. Can we pull up the barbell spin Instagram clip? This is pretty good. JR, have you seen this yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey guys, Rogue Invitational posted event 6. It looks early. They've since taken it down, but I have the screenshot. So event 6, the dual 2. Here it is. 1 legless rope climb, 10 overhead squats, and a sandbag carry to finish. Looks like they may have published it a little bit too early, but I have it for you. There you go.
Bam, Brian. He's got the legless rope. Not you, Brian. Other Brian. Brian from Barbell Spin breaks the news. A legless rope climb. We don't know anything about the rope. We don't know if it's 2 ropes side by side. We don't know if it's a super thick rope. We don't know if it's a skinny rope. I don't think we know. We'll check in with
super thin rope.
Taylor soon. Overhead squat. We don't know what they'll be overhead squatting. It's super easy to make assumptions. And then the sandbag. We don't know the shape of that either, but we do know weights and reps and movements. JR, thoughts? Are we going to see anything new here, fresh?
It's supposed to be elimination, so it's a duel. They want it to be really fast. It's supposed to be a sprint. I wouldn't think they do anything super nuanced, but I could see the rope at least being thicker. If they use the same rig they use at the games, that's probably going to be a 17 to 18 foot legless climb. So I think speed of legless is going to be a really big premium today.
When you say it's going to be a duel and elimination, can you explain to us what that looks like? Give us a guess.
Yeah, so last year the finale was called the duel, if I'm not mistaken, and that was elimination style. So they did the heavy double under squat snatch, sandbag to the pedestal, and they eliminated athletes each round until they were left with a final heat of 5.
Meaning that some guys will do this 3 times, 4 times? The winner will do this 4 times?
I think 3 times. I think it'll be all 20 go, then they cut the field to 10, then they cut the field to 5. That's how they did it in the duel last year. I agree with JR. I think the legless rope climb speed is huge. You have someone like Jeff Adler, if you remember, Bike to Work from the 2020 in-person games. He almost caught Fraser on that workout, and the speed of his legless rope climbs was insane. Justin Medeiros will also do well. I like it. I mean, it seems short, and you read it on paper, it looks like, man, there's not much to this. But I think the speed at which the athletes are going to hit it, the legless is probably going to be a little taller, to JR's point. I also think we might see that mini barbell with the short stubby weights that was in midline March and maybe the 2015 or 2016 games could potentially be the implement they use for the overhead squats. They may just use a normal bar, but they could bring back that little mini bar with like the dumbbell size Olympic bumpers. You know what I'm talking about, Hiller?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just a thought.
Andrew Hiller in the square below me wearing the sweatshirt that represents the brand that fired its employees who refused to take the experimental injection. Andrew Hiller.
These were on sale, man. All right.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. That's what that company did. I'm just stating the facts.
All right. I got something. You had on Brett Stephenson the other day, right?
Yeah. Is that the Flat Earth guy?
That's Flat Earth guy, but he's also American Ninja Warrior champion.
Right.
And final stage of Mount Midoriyama has a rope climb, and I think that rope is like 75 feet tall.
Right.
So
I saw that. Yes.
This could be a rope climb 75 feet tall, and then it wouldn't be elimination style. It would be for time. And I'm reaching here.
You know how hard? Have you ever done a 30-foot rope climb?
I haven't. But that's why it would be awesome.
So the hardest thing Yeah,
possible.
the hardest thing about it, well, they wouldn't have this for legless, but if you do a really tall rope climb with your feet, like they have in like Coronado or on a lot of military obstacle courses, the hardest part is when you get above 15 feet, when you try to clamp your feet and you kind of lift the rope a little bit, like the higher you get, the heavier the rope gets. It gets so fucking hard to clamp your feet, and you're up there and you're like trying to lift the rope and clamp, and your ass cheeks are squeezed together because you're just getting higher and higher. We have a 25-foot ceiling in our gym. And so even when you get that high, it's like you can't even pull the foot over your rope, really. It's crazy.
That would be wicked. I sent it in the private chat. I don't think you guys want to, play with my thought.
15 minutes and 20
It's probably
seconds.
going to be elimination style.
15 minutes and 20 seconds into the show, Andrew Hiller mentions Taylor Self mentions ass cheeks.
What is this guy's comment? Says Boz said this point is BS. What point?
Okay, so when Boz went on with Sevan the last time, I believe, he talked about like, will we ever see a 50-foot rope climb? Can we ever do that at the games? Can we ever suspend it over water? Can we ever do anything like that? And Sevan mentioned that point, that as you go higher and higher, the rope gets heavier and heavier. So using a traditional clamp gets more and more difficult. And he actually pushed back on that and said, well, if you're good with different kinds of clamps, like I have a clamp I can use and I can just keep going all day. It doesn't matter how tall the rope is.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done. It just gets harder. And I think it's something like a thick bar, it would throw a lot of athletes off. It's like saying, oh, yeah, I know how to do a crossover double under. I could do it all day. But then look at how many people out of the fittest on earth got fucking stuffed by that. So I'm not saying it can't be done. I just think it's something that would throw a wrench into what people would typically expect from a regular rope climb.
Brian, I think it's you who's mentioned on previous shows that when they do these types of duels and they're not the final event, the winner kind of pays the price because they have to do more work. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It can happen, but it's a price that's worth it because you need the points.
Yeah.
Are you okay with the placement of it here as event 6 as opposed to event 10?
I mean, it changes the workout a lot. We talked about that both Vellner and Annie finished 13th in the duel 1, I guess, last year. But that was the final where they knew exactly what they were playing for, and they knew that what they could afford to sacrifice for the place they were in versus what they needed to risk to try to, usurp a person ahead of them. That's different now. I think you have to be a little bit more conservative. You can't take a big risk because almost half the competition is still remaining.
Brian, can you see the field from where you're at?
I just left because it was so loud in there. Strongmen are going right now.
Did you see
They're doing
anything?
The road roller coaster thing.
Did you see anything that looked like it could hold an extra long rope? Like, did you see cranes out there? Or anything weird out there?
I saw John Young. He can probably hold a big rope.
All right, fine. Fair enough.
I don't think the placement of this workout is an issue with the movements in it. If it is presumably only 3 heats, that's 30 overhead squats that the person winning or making it to the final is doing, 3 legless rope climbs, and 3 sandbag carries. I don't think the volume is an issue at all. I think they did a really good job programming this with the premium on legless speed, overhead squat cycle speed, and movement mechanics, like doing the movement correctly. People not standing really fast and skipping extension. Wow.
There we go.
So that's a 75-foot rope right there?
I think I may have been over-exaggerating. But
Taylor, if it pushes to, no, I think that rope is either 75 or 100 feet.
That's nuts.
Taylor, if it pushes to 4 or 5 rounds, is there any point where you do think it's too excessive or too big of a difference between the finalists and the first eliminated?
Yeah, I think 4 is right on the line. I think 3 is fine. 4 is on the edge. 5 is too much. Personally, I think
they're only going to do heats of 5. That's how the duel 1 was. I think they're only going to do heats of 5. So you have to go.
They would cut. They would either only be. It's only going to be 4. They're either only going to do 4 runs of it, or they'll do 3 runs of it. So I don't think it stretches to 5. I think 5 would be an issue just because of the speed of contraction and the intensity the workouts hit at. 50 overhead squats normally is not an issue for these guys, but when you're doing it all out like that, changes things a little bit. But I think 3 or 4 is good.
I'm just tuning in. I can't hear anything because I can't stop focusing on Thumb's paper cut. That's, by the way, when he had the cut, he said, "What should I do?" And I went over to ESPN.com and looked at their guidelines for their employees, and it said just stick a paper towel or a piece of toilet paper on it.
Just go fuck myself.
Jody Lynn. Oh my goodness, Jody, what are you doing? Fun money for Haley and the boys while the CEO works overtime. Great job to the entire crew here. Jody Lynn, longtime listener. Thank you. You're the best.
Whenever I hear the name Jody, I think of Jarhead. Sorry.
Taylor, you can't make any jokes about anyone's head today.
Over the overhead squat, just standard barbell, you think, Hiller, or something rogue-esque? You think axle bar, something weird?
It'd be wild if it was like one of those tsunami bars.
Oh, wow.
Bar, but it won't be. It'll totally just be. That would totally throw a wrench in the whole thing.
Do you think
and
that
then
would be
you
a
would
gimmick?
also not really think it'd be elimination. It'd be about as challenging as that higher rope because everyone would be so focused on not missing a rep.
Do you think that would be a
But
gimmick?
I think it's going to be a barbell. It'd be a gimmick, yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be a gimmick.
Is the tsunami bar the one that's like made of bamboo and bounces a little bit?
No, it's got water in it.
Yeah.
I thought the tsunami bar.
Oh, the tsunami bar does, yes.
Yeah.
The bamboo bar is the one with the bands on it.
Band bell, I think. Or
If they're gonna make a little wrinkle in this workout, I'd rather see them do the legless rope climb from like seated on the ground or something. There's a little bit more emphasis on that.
I don't think they will. I think it'll just be straight out for speed, and I think it's going to be fucking awesome to watch personally.
Maybe, but if we're thinking about what they could possibly do, I mean, they've already made a different style of lift with the Texas Oak later tonight.
Yeah.
They've already changed the barbell or the pull-up bar for the log muscle up. So changing the barbell here, it seems like it's just too much. So if they're going to do anything that's off the beaten path, I would look at the rope as possibly being that thing.
I think I agree with you, but I would even go further. I think if they continue to just change things up a little bit like that, like even the rope, I think it would be too much. I think if they just hit this workout as is at speed, it's going to be awesome to watch.
Let's take a quick break here. We got Travis from Vindicate. Travis, good morning. Travis was crazy generous enough to put together a shirt with a Greg Glassman quote on it. Sell the shirt at vndk8.com, vindicate.com, where you can also get your Hillerfit and CEO apparel. And from there, he took the proceeds of the sale of that shirt, and he is doing a CrossFit Level 1 giveaway. Gabe says hi, Travis.
What's up, Gabe?
From Paper Street Coffee.
Paper Street Coffee.
How are we doing this? Are you just sticking your finger on the Instagram where people? How are we picking the winner?
So when people checked out, they could check if they were interested in the L1. So the sales, all kept track of that. So I took the very first order number to the last order number, put it in the random number generator, and it just spit out an order number. So I checked that order number to make sure they said they wanted to do the L1, and the first one that came up said yes.
Awesome.
So completely random. I don't know who this person is.
Please be me. Please be me. Please be me. Please be me.
I'm trying to decide if I should say where they're from or if I should just say the name.
Yeah, say where they're from.
Okay. Order number 4716. And of course, it's a name that I'm going to have to butcher. Christopher Campagna from Alexandria, Virginia, has earned himself an L1.
Christopher Campagna. Spell it for us.
Campagna.
Campagna.
That's dope.
Campagna. Thank you, Travis. So Vindicate, vndk8.com, has given a free L1 to Christopher Campagna from Virginia.
I wonder if he goes to Trident CrossFit. You know Chris Smith? That's where his gym is. I used to go there.
Oh,
I don't know. I wonder if Caleb knows him.
You know Chris Smith, right, Sevan? He's
yep.
He's doing the Talisker Whiskey Challenge with Daniel Shantosh.
I think Chris was a SEAL, right?
Yeah.
Pull up Johnny's comment.
He's the most unassuming guy ever. This guy's like 5'3", 145 pounds. I used to do SEAL Fit at his gym, and we were like, it was like 2 a.m. one night. We started at 8 p.m. It was like 2 a.m. And he's like, all right, the next person who can beat me in a race, it's like a 100-meter race, will go home. And I was like, fuck that. I can crush you. And I'm like 18 at the time. I think I'm going to smash this 45-year-old. And he just dusted me. And we were fucked for like another couple hours.
What's his wife's name?
I forget. She owns a coffee company.
Yes.
I forget. Damn.
She might be one of the nicest people alive.
She's so nice.
Okay, Travis, thank you so much. Chris, how does Chris reach out to you?
I will send him an email. I'll get in touch with him.
Okay.
I have all of his info. So hopefully going to do this again. It was the response was awesome. The shirt, I pulled the shirts down because it was a pre-order. But I am going to order extra. So everything will be back up there probably next week. Not including an L1, but shirts will be available.
Chris, if you could also get in touch with me after you take your L1, I would love to talk to you on the air on my podcast on your thoughts about the L1 and what the experience was like. Travis, thank you. You the man,
Awesome.
buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Back to event number 6, which is going to take place at is it 8:05 Pacific Standard Time? Yes,
my favorite
8:05
comment
Pacific.
in there was that now Travis is going to big dick every one of the comments section.
No, I don't think it's 8:05 Pacific Standard because that would mean it's
that's event 5 that will start.
Event 5 is starting in
and we still don't have all the details for that yet.
Yeah. 45 minutes.
Oh, I'm so confused. This event, this
later.
Duel 2, okay.
Yeah.
This isn't
Turtle's
the next event we're going to see. Okay.
Turtle's the next event.
Okay. I apologize. I got confused. Let me ask you a couple questions about event 6 real quick. And we will also revisit this after event 5. But where is this won? And where is it lost? Mr. Hiller.
Execution, which means Medeiros will probably take it.
Execution in which
Because
way?
he's not going to mess up.
Get the overhead
Velder's
squat
gonna
up.
fuck it up because he always messes something up. And just like, because if it's as easy as we assume it may be, where it's just all rope climb, do your overhead squats and pick the bag up and run. If you drop the bag, you're done. If you get a no rep on the overhead squats, you're going to lose seconds and just don't get a no rep on the rope climb. And that's just an execution workout. But if it's what we've been talking about, which is the rope is longer, the rope is thicker, the overhead squats have an odd implement, or there's something wild with a sandbag, it changes that, and it's no longer execution, it's adaptation.
Brian Friend, where do you think this is won and where do you think this is lost?
Carolyn Lambre sends her love to you, Sevan, just so you know.
Oh, Miss Carolyn. Is that Jeffrey Adler's coach?
Yes, just had a chance to talk to her. It's great.
Awesome. Tell her I said hi and give her a hug for me. Hug her husband twice.
You're not interested in what she had to say?
I'm very interested.
Oh, okay. What was your question?
Oh, what did Carolyn Lambert say?
Lambre? She said a lot of athletes are feeling it. Some athletes feeling their calves, some in the hip flexors, some in the adductors, some in the low back. So mostly low body is where the athletes are feeling it after 2 days. Probably looks like a lot of short events today, so low margin for error on execution. And even for her, who is, obviously as an athlete who's been briefed on some events, there are still elements of these workouts today that are largely unknown. She was specifically talking about the Texas Oak event tonight, that there's only a few weights, it seems like, and she doesn't know if there's a tiebreaker or not. So kind of in the same vein of what we're used to with Rogue, where there's just going to be questions that we're going to have to wait to find out the answers to.
I like it. Very exciting. Luis Lemos. Luis Lemos from the great continent of South America. I don't really know that. Yes, JR.
I wanted to say something to follow up on that. This was really subtle last night. When we talked to Katie, I don't know if you remembered it or not. She said something along the lines of, and I don't want to misquote her. We did a lot of testing on it. I hope we picked the weights right. She did not say anything about a 1 rep max. She said, I hope we got the loading right on the Texas Oak.
That's when I asked her what the format, and then after I asked her what the format is, I was so nervous. I wasn't listening clearly. You're right.
So I think, we were thinking, is it going to be a do all the weight you can, or is it going to be like sometimes in Strongman, they do a clean and press away. So they do 1 clean and then as many shoulder to overheads as possible in a minute or something like that, or unbroken, like for a max set. So could it just be that there are 3 loads and they do as many as they can in a minute and then they eliminate down to whatever, 3 or 4 athletes, and that's how they find it. So it's more of a battery strength test and not a 1 rep max test.
Or is it a speed ladder?
Or is it like the sandbag where they keep adding? But that's a very interesting point to Jared Howell. So Jared, you're saying that it might be there's 3 weights. You have your turn at the first weight, you clean it, and it's how many times you go shoulder to overhead, and that's your number. Yeah.
Could
wow.
be.
Okay.
But that's a little
I like
bit,
it. I like it.
That's a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know how much time they've spent cycling a log shoulder to overhead. I think it's probably more likely that they do it single at a time, single at a time, single at a time. So they always bring it back down to the pad.
Full reps, log cleaning presses.
Right.
Yeah.
Just what we're hoping for is that they've thought this through enough so that we're not going to have a 5-way tie at any place on the leaderboard, and that there's actually an opportunity for athletes to, earn points relative to their close competitors.
Why don't we like ties, Brian?
Let's just say that there's 5 logs to lift of 5 different weights, and there's no tiebreaker built in, and there are 20 athletes. So what's the point if 10 guys go out on the 3rd log and they all just get, 50 points? Like, why'd you even have the event if half the field's getting the same number of points?
I kind of see what you're saying, but I also don't see. Is there any other why don't we like a tie? Okay, it's a tie. I mean, there's 10 events. Tie and one of them is okay, isn't it?
I think
here's the F1 race. Remember they go around the track. Oh, sorry guys, everyone tied for first today. See you next week.
You're right. That's a great example, but the F1 is just one event.
It's a series of events over 8 months of the year, and they all get the same points. If you have one event over those 18 races and everyone earns the same points on that one event, why'd you even have that one?
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Does everyone agree there? Ties no bueno?
I think in any CrossFit event, there's the potential for a tie, but I think what Brian said is correct. They shouldn't have an event where there's potential for 5 or more people going in like a 5 or 6 or 7-way tie. I think Rogue is probably smart enough to have a tie break, kind of like they had at the games at the sandbag. People who tie at this weight are going to go back to the next weight and do it for speed or for time or for reps potentially. I would like that. Hopefully we can give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that that's what they're going to do.
And a tie is anticlimactic in the narrative also, because we want to see the fittest guy excel and be able to showcase his abilities. I want to go back to Luis Lemos one more time. I cannot tell you how helpful this is, guys. I cannot tell you. And same with Jody Lynn. So freaking helpful. Thank you. The whole time Brian's talking, I'm just trying to think, holy shit, this guy had to type that into his keyboard and send over his hard-earned money. And I really appreciate it. I want to get some clarity on what Taylor was saying about execution, event by event. So execution on the rope, JR, would be the descent, right? We talk about the descent a lot. A lot of people can climb the rope fast. They're won and lost on the descent. The overhead squat, the first time, it could be lost. Maybe Taylor suggesting that when you first get it up, you better get it up on that first try and start cycling those first 10. And then on the bag, you better pick it up, have it in a good position, and not drop it and get it in a position where you can run the fastest. Are these the type of things he's talking about, JR?
Yeah, and I think on the rope climb, though, the ascent is just as important as the descent. If you watch an athlete that can get 17 to 18 feet in like 6 reps, like six pulls, versus someone that takes 10 or 12, I mean, they're 5 seconds faster to the next movement.
Hiller was the one talking about execution, just to...
Oh, okay. Credit to Hiller. And here's another thing also. I think that there will be people who make execution errors, and it also comes down to the people, especially in the first round where a larger trunk goes forward. It's very important that the person doesn't get demoralized if something bad does happen, right? So if they get a no rep on the rope climb, they shouldn't slow down, because there might be 3 guys who get no reps on the rope climb.
No, if you get a no rep on the rope climb, you're fucked. To be honest,
I'm just saying. I think those guys should I think they should keep their head in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, but I think what Hiller's saying and what JR is probably most likely to be true. Execution is really important, but so is speed on each implement. Speed on the legless, especially. Speed on the overhead squat, especially. And then I think you're going to see the gap between those people who are fast on the legless and the overhead squat and the people who aren't on the sandbag. I think there's the potential to see people almost done with the sandbag or halfway through with the sandbag before some people pick it up, at least in the first few heats.
Brian, where do you put a 200 or 150 pound sandbag to move the fastest with it? What technique do you think is going to be the most efficient?
Are we 100% sure those are the weights?
We just know from what's on Instagram.
I thought it said 225, but either way, I mean, this is Rogue. So this
It did
sandbag
change.
can look,
Yeah, it did.
this workout, I mean, this, sorry, I was not paying attention. This is Rogue. There's so many different types of sandbags they could use. They could bring back a Cyclone bag from 2019. They could have a Husafel bag. They could be using something that's a heavier version of whatever the Turtle ends up being. So depending on the shape of the bag will be the answer to that question. But for the most part, if you can get it up higher on your chest and get your hands around it, interlock your fingers or grab your wrist, that will give you the advantage, especially if it's a long distance you have to carry it.
Yeah, like
Brian
even
from Barbell
if they say, go ahead.
Brian from Barbell Spin says they changed the weight from post that was pulled down. So is the new weight 225, JR?
No, what you guys showed on the screen is lighter than what Brian posted. I think it was like 225, 160 or 225, 165.
And it's gone down a little bit.
Correct. And I was just going to say, if they tell you can carry the bag anyhow, and you have to take the time to put it on your shoulder,
you're fucked. Bear hug is going to be the fastest without a doubt. I think with most sandbags, Cyclone, Husafel, a cylindrical sandbag, the bear hug is going to be the fastest. You get it to your belly and you just run with it.
Yeah, and I mean, not even like getting it high up on the chest. Like you need to just leave it at waist level.
Yeah,
and go. Yeah.
On your hips. Yeah.
For anyone who wants to watch Event 1, Johnny is saying they uploaded the video of Event 1. That was the trail run onto their YouTube page. Can we go to Event 5? We'll have plenty of time to look at Event 6 in more detail. Event 5 is the one that starts in 35 minutes.
Yeah, we got to go soon. Me and JR.
I'd also like to add one thing. If you want to see very short vignettes, very easy to watch, 1 to 2 minutes long, you can go over to the Morning Chalk Up. Lauren Khalil is at the site, and she's interviewing all the athletes one by one, and it's good stuff. They're very short, succinct interviews. I watched them all last night, and I got notes here on them, and I'll read some of those notes to you after JR and Taylor split. Event 5, the Turtle. We're going to see this morning. For the first workout of the day, when these guys are, now that we know that these guys are sore and we got that info from Brian and Carolyn, any of your opinions changed on this?
Well, it's interesting.
Go ahead, Taylor.
I was just going to say, it was interesting, Brian, talking about how the athletes are feeling it in the lower body, and they're going to be doing presumably the axle bar lunge. And what I think will be, I mean, the rest of the workout is upper body, but from what the length of the rig that it looks like they're going to be climbing looks extremely short. So, you know, JR was mentioning, hopefully they have several traverses back and forth on that bar. And I'm thinking maybe they pull the sandbag up the hill, like hand over hand pull. That would be enough to kind of shift some of that load on the body towards the upper body, I think. But who knows? I mean, if the monkey bar traverse is just down, and it's not a back and forth traverse, I don't think it's really doing anything there. And this potentially looks like another speed and execution workout where if you fuck up, that's the issue.
Brian, have you seen the monkey bars? Are you at the venue?
Yes, I am.
Any nuances to it or anything, or is it just straight, elementary school style monkey bars?
From what I can tell, these are the monkey bars that we used at the battleground. And it's just one reverse across, like Taylor said, would be very fast and basically negligible in this workout. They do have the crash pads with the white stuff on top of them again, which I know you love.
Yeah, I do like that. Where are those? Those are at the ends of the monkey bars so they can jump up?
Yeah, they're on both sides, and the turtle bags are also at the bottom of the hill with a rope attached to them.
So Hiller was right.
Yeah.
So the hill one bag will make
75-foot rope.
They'll have to grab the rope, run up the hill with the rope most likely, and from the top pull it up to the top. And it looks like a turtle, but they won't have to actually hold the bag in any way. It'll be the rope that they have to pull the bag up with.
That sounds fucking hard.
So this but both of those will be grip intensive, right? The monkey bars and the bag pull.
I don't think the monkey bars are going to be that grip intensive on the way down. They're going to be kind of negligible, but I think on the way back, after pulling the bag all the way up that hill, is potentially, especially in a workout that's fast like this, or what we're presuming to be fast, could be an issue. people making mistakes on the way back. And again, this workout looks like it's placing a premium on execution.
All right, so here's what we got so far, right? We have day 1, we have a 30+ minute workout. Day 2, we have like an 11 to 12, a 4 to 6, and a 8 to 10. Day 3, it looks like already we're going to have a really short up and back chipper, like less than 5 minutes. Then we're going to have an elimination style, which looks to be about a minute or less per round. And then we have some sort of max lift. So as far as programming goes and balance goes, we're really getting a lot of speed, execution, high power output today, which is pretty cool to see over the course of 3 days.
30 to 40 minute, 11 to 12 minute, 4 to 6 minute, 8 to 10 minute, 4 to 5 minute, 1 minute interval, and then heavy lift as stated by JR Howell.
Good variance. And we can assume that muscle up, goblet squat, hill sprint workout is going to be pretty long as well, probably 12 to 15, maybe some people even longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, so far it looks like we're touching all the time domains as far as balance goes. It will be interesting also. It looks to be a short workout on paper, but even that hand over hand sled, if there's a pretty quick turnaround between this event and event 6, that's going to come into play big time on the
for the legless.
Oh, good point.
Guys are going to be pulling that bag up there as fast as they fucking can, and that's going to get hard. I mean, you can think of that as almost I don't know, how long is that? If that's 15 yards or 50 feet, that's essentially similar to a 50-foot legless rope climb. I know the weights are lighter, 155 and 105, but they're also going uphill with friction on the turf. So
for those of you watching the video, your eye may want to go to the roller coaster, but what we are referencing is you see the hill in the background and you see the pylons. And then at the pylons, you see what we're assuming are the turtles and the rope coiled up. And so they will. Oh, so when they run up the hill, they'll probably take the piece of the rope, right?
Yep. They're gonna grab the end of the rope, run it up the hill, sit down or stand up, and pull that fucker up there. That's gonna be tight.
Yeah, that's
Taylor. I wish they were doing the roller coaster.
Taylor, if you were consulted for the event, would you want to see them mandate if you have to stand or sit, or let the athlete make that choice themselves?
I would probably mandate standing. I would think sitting up there without a surface to dig your feet into would be not only stupid for the athletes, but potentially dangerous. I don't know. I think if they do that, they're just going to pull themselves down the fucking hill.
I mean, you were the one who said that was an option. So
I don't know. If they have a surface up there, like the strongmen are sitting with their feet against the platform to pull, that would be cool. But I don't see that at the top of the hill.
It becomes more of an athletic event if they're standing, right? There's a rhythm, a cadence, how to use your entire body. If you're standing, it seems like there's more athleticism in it.
If you're standing, there is more nuance into how you're using your body efficiently to get bigger pulls, for sure. Like you can double clutch, get a big hip drive pull, double clutch, hip drive pull. If you're sitting, it's simply hand over hand. There's a little bit of hip drive you can get, but much less.
All righty. I'd like to give you guys some updates, unless there's anything anyone else wants to say about the workouts while you guys make a run to the venue. Okay. Bye, Taylor.
See you guys. Thank you.
Are you leaving too, JR?
I am. Yeah. See you guys.
Okay. We'll see you guys at the venue. Caleb Beaver, C Beaver. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good to have you in the house, brother.
Glad to be here.
Yanikoski, these are some of the things that we were talking about yesterday. Yanikoski said that in the first round he was holding 5. This is all from stuff that I got from Lauren Khalil's videos. Yanikoski was holding 500 watts in the first round, and he never let it drop below 400 watts on the bike on the rounds after that. And in that last time on the bike, he closed his eyes and he went as hard as he could. Alexis,
the amazing thing about that is that despite doing that in the last round, his barbell cycling was still incredibly pristine. His hang cleans into the jerks were phenomenal. And to be able to do that when you basically have just told everyone that you redlined on the bike and then even want to watch what's going on the screen, that is high level fitness.
And he looked great at the end of the workout too.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Alexis Raptis was saying that her body feels off. She is happy to get on a bike. She loves the bike. Her training's been going great. She feels better going into Rogue than the games, though. And that she thought the bike was a great addition to DT. She also says that pushing the transitions was key at Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, right before that workout started, I turned the last heat for the women. I turned to JR and I said, "Dude, Alexis Raptis has to do something here." And I think that not a lot of people noticed. She only lost to Laura by 2 seconds. Although she never passed her at any point in the workout, like some others had done to the heat leaders, she was basically level with Gabby the whole way, and then excelled past her in the last round. I'm hopeful that maybe can snap her out or whatever's not feeling good, and that we can see some more events like that for her, because I think that this girl has the potential to become a regular top 10 threat at the games over the next couple of seasons.
And the workout that Brian is referencing is the DT with the spin. Alexis says
I'd also like to point out that she's in 13th, which is what I put her at, and Travis Mayer seemed to disagree with that.
40% mark. Hiller's the type of guy that'll text you in the middle of the second quarter of an NFL game and say, "Hey, send me money," and then 2 hours later he's losing.
Well, let's see where she finishes. We got 2 days. She could still be there. I hope she goes up. I like her.
Alexis also finished the interview by saying that it's been years since she's been on the monkey bars. Annie Thorsdottir, she said the Rogue event is super challenging, especially the bar muscle up event. She knows she could have done better. She also feels super fit. And then here it comes. She had food poisoning 2 weeks ago, and 3 days ago she started antibiotics because of a severe cold. She says she still gets butterflies, very nervous being out there, and she is looking forward to the redo of the 2019 workout from Rogue, the one we keep talking about with the handstand push-ups. And she says she likes all the unknowns, and that she has been training with the log a bit with Half Thor.
Yeah, and I think, to that last point, I think Gabby was also spending some time in Iceland and had been a part of some of those training sessions. So definitely, there's a lot of athletes that have had a chance to do some cool things in the sport. But this one here, Jake Marconi,
HWPO.
I don't know what they're
mark him
saying.
down
So.
for the 35th in one of the super semis next year.
I'm not going.
In the interview with Lauren Khalil, Roman Krinikov says going unbroken on DT was not hard. When he was on the bike, he maintained 73 to 72 RPMs. That was his recovery. He said he did not feel great on the bike, though. He said it wasn't his best showing. He had planned to go unbroken. His body is aching, and the new movements are affecting him. And he says it's awesome to be in the United States, and that the American athletes do have an advantage because of less travel. He says the travel is very difficult. He said if he was living in Russia, he would have come a month early. His translator, whoever that is, I don't know if it's his wife, she's next level. She actually will start talking while he's talking, and it's kind of cool. It's like it's best translator I've ever seen. The UFC should get her.
Can we go back to Annie for a second?
Please.
I do.
What did he say? Do you have 2 dicks?
No,
I do.
Yeah.
I can see if that's it.
Immediately, without even hesitating.
Oh, Patrick Anderson's. Yeah.
Yo, this guy, Sevan. This guy listens to the show. Heard me say I had a 2X sweatshirt. Stopped by, picked it up. Be friendly hoodie for
that guy's not a 2X. That guy's not a 2X.
He's big. Trust me.
Oh, all right.
Remember, Brian's 6'4". All right.
Annie, the thing
yes.
The thing that I'm excited about for Annie today is to see her in the second heat with the other top women. I think that when you know that you have the potential to podium at an event and you have to do an entire day of competition against, the bottom 9 women in the field, or maybe 7 of the bottom 9 women in the field, that's tough. You're always setting the mark to beat. You don't have that little extra push. The fact that she's been as consistent and high performing as she had yesterday, given that, I think that today sets up even better for her when she gets a chance to actually compete against the ladies that are her direct competition.
One final thought on the translator also. Often the translators have such a thick accent, they don't sound better than the person speaking the language, and this lady doesn't have that either. She's an amazing translator. Jeffrey Adler, he said that he suspects that he did one extra box jump on every single set during that event.
I was counting his box jumps towards the end of the workout in the rounds of, specifically the round of 5. I'm 100% sure that he finished on the wrong side of the box. But from a spectator's point of view, you can never assume that. I think back to the deadlift freestanding handstand push-up where everyone thought the Medeiros got screwed by his judge and should have beat Vellner on that workout. And after the fact, we found out that there was a communication between Justin and his judge that no one but them really knew about, and he'd skipped a line, so she made him do one extra rep. So I'm just assuming that there's something happening between him and his judge on the floor. Yeah, you guys want to say hi? Yeah, just say hi. Yeah, big fans of the show, Sevan.
Enjoy.
He says hi. Thank you. So that's like, it's for him to say that, and then he's taking that on him. I just thought it was probably that they'd give him a no rep or something, but he definitely did at least one extra box jump, and it was like 1 or 2 seconds between him and Nick Matthew for that event.
He says he may have lost up to 10 seconds on that because of the box jumps.
Did he say whether he thought that was his fault, his judge's fault, or a combination?
When the way I heard it, he was taking responsibility. He wasn't blaming anyone.
That's definitely in line with his character as well. And if that's the case,
That's
then
a
that's
nice
on him.
deadlift.
And we already saw, we already heard that Vellner said that he made a brain fart and did one last shoulder to overhead in that one round. What's up, man? And these are the things that we keep talking about. Like Adler and Vellner are there. They're podium threats. They're not that far out of touch of Roman and Justin. And when you're giving away 5 points in a workout here, 5 points in a workout here, those things add up when you're competing against guys that don't do that.
Brian, that workout that you were referencing, was that from the games and when you were talking about Medeiros and his judge?
Event 14, 2021. Yeah.
Okay. Ellie Turner was happy with the back squat event. She says that the nerves are higher when you know the workout is in your wheelhouse. And she said she's not 100% sure, but she said her max back squat is probably 330-ish pounds. And she said definitely being out on the floor with those ladies significantly affected her performance. She said she probably would have taken 10-second breaks before taking the back squat out of the rack if she was doing that in her gym, and she did not do that at the Rogue Invitational. By the way, whoever's bringing up these videos, Matt and Caleb, you guys are fucking killing it.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, they're killing it. Jeremy Garcia, thanks for the great coverage all week. Jeremy, thank you. You're amazing. You're always here. I appreciate it. Thank you. Jeff Baker,
That's a real thing. When you know a workout's in your wheelhouse, it's scary going into it, either because you don't want to fuck it up or because you know it's going to hurt that bad because you're so good at the movements you're doing.
Kids are watching against them. Okay. I hear you. I will try. I appreciate it. I don't mind the feedback.
Just drop an F-bomb.
I will try. Thank you. I apologize to all the children out there. Do as I say, not as I say, and I will clean up my language. Hi to your kids. Work hard. Remember, hard work is everything. Laura Horvat, she loved the barbell. She claims that her max back squat is 315. The 275 was nothing for her. She said she felt extremely confident and never even considered failing. Nick Matthew, tell me about that real quick, Killer. 315 as a max and then 275 for 5 with confidence. Normal or?
Not so normal. I'd have to bet that she probably has a higher 1 rep. But the thing that you hear with all these athletes all the time is they don't know what their 1 rep is.
Right.
Mostly because they don't need to know what it is because they're not often. I mean, they test it and then they usually surpass it after their years of training. I remember pretty vividly Vellner hitting that really heavy deadlift 590 on the total, and he goes, "Yeah, the heaviest I've deadlifted in recency is 500 pounds." So this was a surprise. So I wouldn't be shocked if her heaviest back squat's a little bit more than that, which would mean that it's probably closer to 80 to 85%. That's my take on it.
And you're right. And you're right. Both her and Ellie, when they asked her what her max is, it seems like that they really don't know. Manny C. Serrano says it's probably more like 345. Thoughts, Hiller?
Agreed. Yeah, the way it looked when she was squatting it, it's higher than 315.
Did they talk to? I haven't seen a great question, Courtney Barrow. I have not seen an interview with Danielle Brandon yet about that. You know what? Maybe I will text her and see if we can get her on the show. She's usually pretty cool about that. Her and Vellner are top notch when it comes to that. Nick Matthews, he felt great. Thank you. Nick Matthew, he said he feels great, felt great. He said on the back squat event, he said pacing was everything on the box jumps, and he said he could have gone faster, and he called the win. Emma Lawson.
Ruth.
I heard this a couple times. She said the bus ride home from the trail run tightened up her legs. It sounds like the bus ride there was 2 hours long. I'm not sure how long it was coming back. She said for the bar muscle up event, she did not have a strategy. Just hang on as long as she can. She said she got uncomfortable sooner than she wanted to, but we're at Rogue. She said she hears the commentator speaking about how much time is left, so she can hear that in the stadium, and that definitely affects her performance and her strategy. And she'd never done a thick bar, but she loves new things. So Emma Lawson kind of speaks like a true champion.
Her moving that barbell is incredibly impressive. Her speed on the way up with that weight on her back at that age, that's nuts. That's what I was thinking of her so far this weekend.
Oh, wait till we get to Kerstetter. Do you know Kerstetter can go teen next year? She's gonna be still. What's the word I'm looking for?
Age group division.
The age group division, yeah. She can still, yeah. She's basically young enough to still qualify
Eligible.
for the age group. Yeah, eligible. Thank you, Brian. Did you know that Olivia Kerstetter will be eligible for the age group division next year, and she's not even sure if she's going individual yet. This is just to come and see how she stacks up against the individuals.
Yes, I did know that, and I think it's really cool that she has an opportunity to do this in an event like Rogue, and she earned her way here through the qualifier. Obviously, we've seen other women, young girls, 17 years old, Emma Lawson, Emma Carey, do something similar, but usually in the CrossFit Games season. So she gets a chance here to kind of test herself against some of the best women, and then that can help her in her decision-making process for the next season of what she wants to do. I think that she's probably, just based on everything we've seen from her, strength-wise, open, quarterfinal stuff, she's definitely, without a doubt, is good enough to make it to the semifinals. And I think that depending on how the seeding process goes, she'll have a chance to make the games as well if she wants to. It just depends on if that's the choice she makes. But this is great for her either way.
Brian, can you you want to give us just a love soliloquy towards BKG? What's going on with BKG? Have you talked to him? Tell us about our buddy Bjorgman Carl Gudmundsson from Iceland.
You gave him love yesterday.
Is he's competing in his third Rogue Invitational. He has no finish worse than 7th so far this year, and across 3 Rogue Invitations now, about 2.5. He only has 2 finishes outside of the top 10. He took 13th in the Bella Complex last year and 12th on the Rogue Echo Bike. Both of those are like high-end strength power output workouts, which is not his best relative to the field. This is arguably the most consistent CrossFitter that's never taken first or second at the games. It's incredible what he's been able to do. He's on the cusp of qualifying for 9 consecutive CrossFit Games this upcoming, or 10 consecutive this upcoming season. And I will say, I said yesterday, he's looking big. He looks thick to me. It looks like he's been working on some weightlifting, probably some upper body stuff. But he was in an outside lane yesterday. Didn't get a ton of attention, but he was right in the mix like he always is. And I didn't know if he'd be able to contend for the podium here, but through 4 events, he's right in the conversation. I know he was disappointed with his finish at the games, not necessarily his performance. He felt very fit and like he did well. It was just a tough field. From the small conversations I've had with him, I think it's more of a mindset thing where he's readjusted, refocused, and he's like determined to remain relevant as a top 5 contender. And so far he's been able to do it. So definitely excited to see if he can keep this going today with more of those maybe sprinty power style output workouts on the docket.
Souza, do we have Bjorgman's phone number?
I thought we did, but it doesn't seem to go. The text seemed to go into the abyss. We'll check in with Snorri again, see if we could.
Let's email.
I will tell you this, so I'll say of all the athlete interviews that I've ever been on with you guys, the one we did with BKG when he was on the beach that day, like a year ago, that was one of my favorites. If anyone wasn't following along then, it was a really good insight into who he is as a person outside of a CrossFitter. And you get to see some of his sense of humor and personality that you don't often get to see in the competition.
Yeah, maybe him and Laura Horvath have the same service provider.
Let's email. Can we email Snorri right when we take a break to watch the show, and then
we should also, if we're going to email Snorri, we should also email him about the woman that I just spoke to, where I was ignoring you for about 5 minutes. Her name is Rosa, and she's a translator for Roman. And she was telling me a little bit about her story and how she came in contact with him, how she got to the U.S., some of her background with visa issues. And I think that if we can get them on, that the combination of his story and her story together would be something that would tickle your your beard chins, Sevan.
I love getting my beard tickled. But Brian, but Souza, we need a BKG's phone number so that we can text him and see if he wants to come on after late night tonight. At least give him the opportunity, even if he doesn't want to. Just see if we can get his phone number. Carolyn Carolyn Prevost. She gave us some insight into the muscle up thick bar. She said that if you swung too hard outward, you would come off, which basically I translated to like your kip has to be really focused upward. Your explosiveness has to be upward, and you better not swing out or you're coming off the bar.
Hey guys.
She said she was extremely slow on the ski erg, but she was smart on the bar, and singles was the way to go, and that's how she made up all her time. Justin Medeiros, he said he was sore after the trail
Can we
run.
go back to that for a sec?
Yes.
We were, JR and Taylor and I were watching that event closely, and we specifically noted on the Vellner and Ricky's kip for the gymnastics, how tight their bodies were, and that they were just like snapping back out of it from that arch position. And to me, this is a good lesson for anyone who's just a regular CrossFitter or starting on CrossFit and trying to get some, baseline or foundational gymnastic skills. Like, do not neglect the arch to hollow positions. Do not neglect the integrity of a hollow hold or a hollow rock. Those are the things that translate to big sets, to time under tension, to excellent movement quality when workouts get difficult or elements of the workouts change later on down the road.
Fantastic advice from not the commentator, Brian Friend, but the coach. Brian coaches at CrossFit PFT in Chicago, and he is there almost every day. Justin Medeiros, I was sore after the trail run. The muscle ups were not muscle up was new for everyone. He doesn't think anyone had ever done anything like that with a thick bar. He said it was fun, and he says that he runs his own race. I got all of this from the morning chalk up, Lauren Khalil's interviews, short interviews, 1 to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Chandler, the event was Chandler said the exact same thing that a bunch of the people on the show said, that event, the bar muscle up event, was won on the or lost on the second set of bar muscle ups. He says he doesn't feel any pressure. He says it just feels like he's working out with a bunch of the homies. He said it's very important that you don't let the skier give you tricep fatigue. Chandler's dad is in the audience. It's the first time his dad has ever seen him compete at an event.
It's interesting about it's interesting what he said. First of all, that thing about his dad is amazing. I saw that on his Instagram this morning, and that's the type of thing that for someone like Chandler, who's had a rough season in different regards, that he can get some confidence from that. So I'm really happy for him. Obviously, he's doing well. If you go back and watch his skier during that event, Taylor Self was being kind of critical of this technique. I don't know if he's ever seen it before or tried it, but he was doing like a full pull, a half pull, and then an intentional rest. A full pull, a half pull, and an intentional rest. He didn't really give away a lot of time relative to the close competitors, Noah Olson, I think, in that heat on the ski. And if he was able to save the triceps, that's probably why he beat Noah at the end of the workout. So if you're someone who likes messing around with different options for using the machines or specifically the skier, watch that back and give it a try and see if it helps you with a workout like that.
More advice from Coach Friend. Appreciate it, Brian. Katie Gannon. Sevan, you going to tell people where you got all these quotes? You mean for the seventh time? You mean for the seventh time? You want me to tell people that I got it from Lauren Khalil from the Morning Chalk Up and that they're fantastic interviews and that everyone should go watch them? Or how many times do you want me to say it? How many times? Lauren Khalil hustles like no other. Hardest working person in the biz with a penis or a vagina. Don't get me fired up, Katie. Oh, I gave her tons of credit. Tons and tons. I love Lauren. She's kicking ass. I'm glad she did it.
Maybe Ben Bergeron gave him that
JR
advice
couldn't
on
talk to a
skier.
stranger if his life depended on it, and Taylor Self so goddamn rude that people run from him. I thank God we have someone like Lauren Khalil.
It's that scar on his head.
Lazar, and by the way, I'm just tugging your chain, Katie, but I did give her a ton of credit. Lauren Khalil from Morning Chalk Up. Go over to their website or go to the YouTube channel, and there's tons of videos on there that give you insight, or don't, and you can just wait for me to watch that shit late at night when I'm on my assault bike and bring it back to you on this show. Oh, and I apologize. I know I wasn't going to swear. There were kids watching. I apologize sincerely. Lazar walked
the
at
Buttery Bros. Jeff.
Lazar walked at the ranch. He said that at the 2nd kilometer, he rolled his ankle. I didn't know it was at the 2nd kilometer, and he had to walk the last 4 kilometers, according to the interview he did with Lauren Khalil. And he said he was running downhill, and he heard some people coming behind him. And that's when he sped up, and that's when the injury occurred, according to his interview with Lauren Khalil. And that somewhere along the trail, someone did give him, he said he got some sugar and water along the run. I'm not sure if all the athletes got that, but that was the first time I heard that. And that insight was uncovered by Lauren Khalil from the Morning Chalk Up. You can watch all the videos on their YouTube channel. Gabriella Magawa loved the run. She likes the ruck. She loved the mass start. And she said the race started with a steep, long hill. That's also the first time I've heard that. Thank you, Lauren Khalil from the Morning Chalk Up, for uncovering that. She said it was a 2-hour bus ride to the event. She said that she ate on the bus. Yeah, baby. 2-hour bus ride, and she ate and napped on the booze. Danielle Brandon.
Farm when I was growing up, and I gave them sugar and water too.
You gave who? An ant farm?
Yeah, that's how you feed them, and eggs.
Cheers with my paper street coffee. Hey, what happened to your ant farm?
I don't remember. I was 5, but I remember what I fed them.
It's kind of crazy because I probably got like 10 ant farms throughout my life as a kid for Christmas, but you had to mail away for the ants, and I just never did that part. So they would just sit
I
there.
got them in the mail, and then they dug their tunnels, and then I don't know, probably threw it away. I don't know.
You got into girls and stopped feeding your ants.
That's right.
We're 10 minutes out from event start.
10 or 5?
Right. Good question.
I think we're 5 minutes. So Gabrielle McGow, Danielle Brandon. This is a trippy interview that Lauren Khalil did with the Morning Chalk Up. You can go check on their YouTube channel. She said that it felt wrong that she won. She said that like 3 or 4 times, and she said no one believed it. She said that Annie Thorsdottir led the ruck, and Danielle said she was in 5th place. And then right as they started approaching the sandbags, she decided, okay, she's going to pass everyone, get to the sandbags first. She got to the sandbags first, threw the sandbags over. I'm guessing that's also where they ditched the ruck. I'm not sure. And then from there, she won the race. She stayed ahead. She also said she hadn't run in a long time. Now listen to this, people. The last time she ran, her pace was 9:30 miles.
Maybe she skipped a lap.
maybe. She says she set her own pace. She said she really didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. And when she said Miss Khalil asked her, "What are you most excited about the Rogue Invitational?" And she said, "For it to be over." There's more information. If you'd like to see the interviews with Jason Hopper, Annika Greer, and Olivia Kerstetter, please go over to the Morning Chalk Up and watch the interviews Lauren Khalil did. Lauren, thank you for your work. And Brian, thank you for bouncing back and forth with me. Andrew Hiller, you demand always and forever. And we're going to go. Looks like this is going to start in 4 minutes. Any final words, Brian?
No, a lot of fans of the show stopping by to say hi. Very cool. They appreciate what we're doing. So thanks for making it happen.
Katie Gannon, you're the best. I'm glad you laughed. That's the point of the show. That's 51% of the reason for the show. C. Beaver, thanks for showing up. Matt Souza, thanks for showing up. We will see you guys within 5 or 10 minutes after event 5 is over. Peace and love.
Go
Jody
Spiegel.
Lynn and Mr. Lemos and Jeremy Eat World, all you guys who donated money, you guys are the bomb. Thank you.